Hi, how are you? Matt Watson here from Carwow. This is the Maserati Levante Trofeo. It's a little bit like Pavarotti belting out Nessun Dorma from the Leaning Tower of Pisa while scoffing some spaghetti bolognese. It couldn't be more Italian, especially when you compare it to the German high-performance SUVs like the BMW X6M or the Porsche Cayenne. Now in this video I'm going to tell you all about the upgrades this car has over the normal Levante, which is a bit of a meh kind of car, and I'm going to take it for a drive and test its 0 to 60 mile an hour sprint time. Now before we get into all of that, please make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. That way you will not miss a single upload.
Buying a new car? Then head to Carwow and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. Carwow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
The Maserati Levante range kicks off at £64,000, and if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can go to Carwow to check out the latest lease deals on Maseratis. Alternatively, if you just want to do that later, just Google "Help Me Carwow" and me and my team will help you choose the right car for you and get it for a fair price from one of our trusted Carwow dealers. This Maserati Levante Trofeo, it's a bit more expensive than the standard car, starts at £125,000. So what are you getting for your cash? Maserati's designers have added some extra bits of sporty trim to this Trofeo model. So you get a more aggressive, deeper rear bumper with a fake diffuser. Believe me, that does nothing. But you also get real carbon fibre near the exhaust, and there's quad tailpipes as well. There's also an extended roof spoiler, make it look more sporty than standard car. I should point this out though, this is the 20 model year. There's now a 21 model year Levante Trofeo, and it has slightly different tail lights, but that's any difference. The key changes at the side include a Trofeo Maserati badge, black alloy wheels. Standard you get 21 inches, but you can upgrade to 22s if you need that extra inch. Also, you get yellow brake calipers. Nothing says sporty like yellow brake calipers. Another key feature, this, look, carbon fibre side skirts. It's hard to tell they're carbon fibre because they're covered in grime. It's not that we couldn't be bothered to clean the car, we actually just upgraded to the optional grime pack. Looks good on SUVs. You've got some silver surrounds here on the wings. I'm not sure these vents actually do anything, though they're not completely fake. Now on the 21 model year, these are in red. You might be thinking, Matt, you keep on going on about this 21 model year car. Why don't you just review that instead? Well, it's because the press office don't have it on their fleet yet, even though it's on sale. So they sent us this one. Oh well. The most obvious changes to the Trofeo here at the front. So you've got a much more aggressive front bumper. You've got bigger air intakes, a carbon fibre front splitter. There's some carbon fibre strakes here as well, and some air vents to help the air flow over the wheels and down the side of the car, make it more aerodynamic, though I think it's going to help too much. You've also got these grille slats just in black now, and LED matrix headlights which will blank out part of their beam so you don't dazzle oncoming drivers. Gets a new bonnet as well with these air vents in. Here on the inside, the Trofeo model gets these big carbon fibre paddle shifters. You also get carbon fibre trim here and here on the door as well. There's also Trofeo floor mats with a metal Trofeo badge on them. You also get a bespoke clock for the Trofeo model. But the most important thing are the Trofeo seats. These are trimmed in lovely leather. They feel great to sit in, and you get the Trofeo emblem there on the headrest as well. Other than that, it's just like a normal Maserati Levante's cabin, which means that it sort of looks a bit old-fashioned. Quality is generally pretty solid though. There's lots of leather everywhere. And storage is actually really good. Look at that, that's huge. That center console, got some cup holders here, another storage area here with your USBs, a big glove box and a decent sized door bin. Now, the infotainment system, it's okay, though once again, this being the 2020 model, it's actually been updated for 2021. You get a slightly different infotainment system. The dials, analog dials for your rev counter and your speedo, though you do have a digital display in between them. Here in the back, it's just like a normal Levante in terms of space, so absolutely fine, though with the glass roof. The headroom is limited slightly, but I'm still okay, and people over 6 foot will just about be fine. But, as in the front, you get the lovely, super duper soft, high quality leather. I love these seats actually. It's a bit like you just sat on some really expensive Italian furniture. It does feel special, more so than the equivalent Germans. Before we talk about the boot, I just want to shout out to that number plate. V8 Maserati, or you could interpret that as mighty, still applicable. So the capacity is the same, unsurprisingly, as the normal Levante. So you've got 580 litres and it's a nice square usable shape, and you can fit in 7 of these size carry-on cases, and they're easy to slide out because there's no load lip. However, if you needed to carry an extra 18 litres, you'd be a bit stuck, wouldn't you? And therefore you'd probably want a Porsche Cayenne Coupe because its boot capacity is 598 litres. And that handily brings me on to 5 annoying things about this Maserati Levante Trofeo. If you want digital climate control for the rear seats, you have to pay an extra £1,100, which seems a little bit mean when this car actually costs 125 grand to start with. This tricolore stripe, it is painted on. So it's not a sticker, which is good. What's not so good though, is that it doesn't quite line up with the one on the roof. It feels like this should be a bit further over. That's especially annoying when you consider it's an £8,500 option. European versions of the Maserati Levante Trofeo are slightly less powerful, have a slightly lower top speed and a little less quick to 60 miles an hour than equivalents sold in the rest of the world for whatever reason. The car key is really, really heavy. Now this does make it feel expensive, but it's a real pain to carry it around in your pocket. I'll let you see just how heavy it is. You can't tell by just looking at it. Listen to this. Ow, 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 why am I doing that? If your neighbour buys one of these cars, you might find it really annoying when they start it first thing in the morning because it makes this kind of racket. Actually, the way this sounds is a good thing, and that brings me on to 5 cool features about this Maserati. The Trofeo has upgraded brakes over the normal Levante, so you have 6 piston calipers at the front and 380mm discs. The discs at the back are 330mm. Also, Maserati has tuned the car's ABS system to just make it a little bit more sporty. You get a limited slip differential at the rear axle to help make sure that the tyre with the most grip gets the most power. That also helps in slingshotting you out of a corner. As well as the normal and sport driving mode, you also get a Corsa driving mode. Corsa is Italian for race, and that sets the car up in its most aggressive settings for some really serious driving. The car's height adjustable air suspension has been recalibrated so it's stiffer than on the normal Levante, and when you go in the car's sportiest setting it lowers down by 35mm. Also, the 4-wheel drive system normally drives along in rear drive only, but it can send 50% of the power to the front wheels if you need that extra grip. This is the reason you buy this SUV. What you have here is a Ferrari 3.8 litre twin turbo V8. Now Maserati has changed a few of the internals and some of the ancillaries, but this engine was built in Maranello. Look at it as well, you can tell it's got like the red rocker covers that you expect in a Ferrari. It's pretty much the same engine as in the Portofino. The performance is good as well. 580 horsepower and 730 Newton meters of torque. Okay, I'm going to launch this thing, see how quickly it will do 0 to 60 miles an hour. It's supposed to do it in 4.1 seconds, but what's the reality? So to launch it, put it into drive, pull up on the left pedal, start launch control, here we go. Release the brake. Whoa, the Italians lied. They absolutely lied. Whoa! 0 to 60, 3.8 seconds. That is well quick. I thought it was going to be slower than they claimed. That's normally how the Italians work, but oh no, that's nuts. Let's be honest, this is a big, heavy SUV. It weighs over 2.1 tons, but it's a sporty SUV. So let's see what it's like on a twisty road. I'm going to put the drive select mode into sport. In fact, I can press it again, going to Corsa. So it's going to reduce my safety systems a bit and lower the suspension as well as stiffening it and adding weight to the steering. So this all-wheel drive system is mainly rear drive when you're just driving along normally, and then if it detects some slip, it will send some power to the front wheels. For a big old thing, it goes around corners pretty well. While the suspension has got stiffer, it doesn't feel overly stiff, and it does feel a bit lively, this thing. And this engine is just insanely good. Oh, I love it. Perhaps the only weakness really is the steering. I'm not really feeling much through it, just seems artificial. But this car is gripping and it's not leaning much in these bends. It's all about the engine though, really. You're just buying this car for the engine. You want an SUV, you want a Ferrari bred engine. Oh, the response and the sound. This sounds better than the German V8s, it just does. And the rest of the car is just about good enough to make it acceptable. You can have a bit of fun in this big brute. Though I do think that an Audi RSQ8 is just sharp to drive, and if you click on the pop-out banner up there, you can watch my full in-depth video review of that car. All right, let's see what this Maserati Levante Trofeo is like on the motorway. This car is fitted with the optional upgraded cruise control system. So it'll do that thing where it'll keep you a safe distance from the car in front and steer to keep you in lane. So let's just try it out. I'll just engage it now. There we go. Put the auto steer on. So we're engaged. I can alter the distance I'm from the car in front by pressing this button, and it'll change that distance, bring my speed up, make it a bit quicker. The way the steering works, oh, it's complaining because I'm not touching the steering wheel, and rightly so. The way it works is it's a bit jerky. I don't know if you can see, it's like the way it does it to keep you in lane. It's not the smoothest. Could be better for that £2,500 price, really. It works fine enough. And if you're doing long distances in this car, it is an option you're probably going to want to tick. And let's face it, options on a Maserati, you can't expect them to be cheap, no matter what they are. Finally, let's see what this Levante Trofeo is like round town. Do you know what? I thought the suspension would be a disaster at lower speed, but it's not. It actually goes over bumps pretty well. It does have a firm edge to it, so you do get rocked side to side occasionally when you hit a bump, but it's not bad. It's all right. They've done a decent job. And there's a certain way to drive this car, and it's like this in town. That's just at the right height. There's armrest here is at the right height. It's perfect. Can I get around the mini roundabout doing it this way though, trying to remain cool? Oh no. I'm gonna have to mount a curb. The turning circle isn't quite good enough, and I've lost my cool because I've had to sit forward like a normal person. Thankfully the steering is really light, so not so great when you're going really quickly, which is kind of the idea with this car, but round town, brilliant. I'm going to do something else back to the front as well. That's the gear shift. So now I'm going to change with the pedals. Actually, it's pretty decent. Mild delay. Look, press the button, change up. I wouldn't bother running it in manual mode. This is just going to drive in auto. It's brilliant in auto, this gearbox. Yeah, we get back to the right position. There we are. Yeah, in my Levante Trofeo, my sporty SUV. Let's go around again. Come on, I can do it. There we go. I'm still cool. But still cool. So then, what's my final verdict on the Maserati Levante Trofeo? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist it. It's got a fabulous engine, which is reason enough to buy it alone, yet the rest of the car is actually pretty good as well. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be crap, but it's actually really rather good. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Now if you click on that window there, you can watch a Lamborghini Urus, drag racing Aventador and a Huracan. And if you click on that window there, you can watch a Ferrari GTC4 Lusso, drag racing SLR McLaren and an Aston Martin DBS. And if you click on that box there, you can download the CarWow app. It's completely free and you can use it to scan the number plate of any car with your phone and it'll give you a valuation on that car. Go check it out.